Hey everybody, this is Jared, Ryan, down here trying to get to work in a little bit during this difficult time. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to share a few lessons with you from our curriculum. We hope that you're staying safe and that you're well. And so let's get to it. What do you say, Jared?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do this. Okay, we finished with the box count, which is a mid-range. Let me just take a moment and explain the ranges in case you don't know, and if you do know, it's a nice friendly reminder. Long range. He puts a stick out. He can hit my hand, I can hit his hand, but what we cannot do, hold it out there please. I can hit his hand, but I can't hit his body. Furthermore, my live hand is pretty much useless at this point. I wouldn't even want to really grab the stick in largo mano. It's just too much action and I'm going to stay out here and hit. We move into mid-range. Mid-range for us is I can hit his hand, I can hit his stick, I can hit his body with the tip of my stick, but my puño I cannot hit. And my live hand is at a distance that it can use it to engage here and maybe even reach here, but what I can't do is really elbows. So that's the mid-range. Close range for us, come in a little closer, is where I can do all those things, but now I can use the puño, and if I want, I can use my elbow, come up here, use my knees, I can stomp, use in different motions. So those are the three ranges, or basic ranges. Obviously we have grappling range, which we would be down dumag, grappling with the sticks, and then we have projection range, which is longer than, or further away than largo mano. So those are the ranges in our curriculum, but we generally teach within those three ranges, long, medium, close. This is going to be a close quarter drill, and just what the internet needs, another Hubud video. He goat Hubud Lubud is what it is. I'm going to stop his arm on a line one. He tries to puño me right in the eye. I'm going to bring my hand up, and as I do this, I want my puño facing in. Now some people do it this way, and that's not wrong, it's just a style difference between a red Corvette, yellow Corvette. Reason I do this is because when you get into sparring in Hubud range, you can get that little triangle wrist lock right there, and this he doesn't like. Furthermore, by hooking it already, I'm trapping it, ready to guide it, so I can start doing disarms and things like that. So I like to teach thumb down, catch it, move over, once it comes out, then cradle. You're going to hit, basically his elbow is going to sit right in the palm of your hand. I come down, he catches, comes over, he cradles. And we do it this way. Now some people also teach check hand. This is good if you check in, but even then, look at what Jared can do. He can hit me. So if he does the check hand to me, even though I'm trapped, I can come in here and sometimes come out. So cradling actually is like an arm drag, and it allows me to trap him. And I have my strikes from there. He comes in, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is the basic Hubud, as we like to teach it. If you want to practice it with the check hand, you can do so. Just realize that the check hand has to be into him. And if I was to do this, let's do it from this way. If I was to do this with the check hand, I'm not just going to be doing it. I know when we practice, people get lazy with it like that. What I would be doing if I'm sparring is I'm checking him and I moved his weight distribution. In which case I'm going to be trapping, coming in here, looking for the hit. If he comes in, maybe I come in and I chap him here as I got him, and here I can sweep, takedowns, things like that. So food for thought on that. Let's go ahead and do it a little bit, Jared. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. This is the basic Hubud that you need to get down. Now I know there's some videos out there that like to downplay the importance of Hubud. But let me just say that when you have the Hubud curriculum, like we do, Hubud itself is a fighting system that can give you so many options, build such a great level of fighting skill, and yes, it is very applicable into street fighting, in the ring, in the cage. The question is, how much Hubud do you have? In the sense of, have you only trained 3 drills, or have you learned to implement it, put tie-ups and spar with it? Have you learned to put the strikes into it? There is more to Hubud than what we're just showing you. For example, let's jump into the 5 things you need to know to just start what we call level 1 Hubud, or the intro, basic kindergarten Hubud. So after you've picked up this drill, then we want you to understand the different ways of intercepting. And we have 5 basic ways of intercepting that force. The first way we're going to do, we're actually going to use a parry. He's going to come in and we're going to parry the force off as he comes in. Note how I'm just parrying it off. He strikes. And I redirect it down. The next one is I'm going to catch it. And sometimes people call this caveman kali. I've heard that term before. And this is, I just stop it, boom, and I come back in and hit. Third would be a combination of the first 2. I'm going to stop it and then turn it over and catch and parry it, redirect it. And the hand kind of pivots here real quick. I actually stop the momentum and then restart it. People say, can you do that in a fight? We do it when we're sparring, live stick sparring. Guy comes in, you jam him, and then you redirect him as you come over and you hit. So again, it's just a matter of practice and building the skill for this. And this would be number 3. Number 4, you add the elbow check. Now, roll up your sleeve real quick, Jared, on the right. If you look at his arm, you have the radial and ulna coming together around the humerus, and you can feel it. If you start here on his bicep, you come down, you get hooked here on the fork. That's what I want to do. When I block, hit, I roll over, I bring it over, I want to fork just above the ulna and radial so that I have control of his arm. If I'm below, he can pull his arm out. But if I'm here, it's a little bit more difficult. I have a good control, and the elbow joint is actually in the palm of my hand. That's important because now I have a control here as I hit him. So when he comes in, it's 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. And I know people are like, wow, all with one hand. It is difficult. It takes practice, and that's what we're going to do since we're all quarantined at home. Grab our family member. Make sure you wash your hands before and after, and you can practice this. Okay? Then the next one's my favorite, number 5, and that is the cambiada. Or I'm sure I'm saying it wrong for those that are fluent in Tagalog. This is where you're going to come in and ride the wave. I meet it with my forearm, it stays stuck. As soon as it comes here, then it presses in, would be the idea. It flows out. So what's going to happen here, once we've mastered these 5 basic, we could think of them as vowels, your basic vowels in your dialogue. I'm going to put them together. Hit me. And now Jared and I are just mixing it up, going through the drills like so, one-handed. Then when we bring the other hand into it, it turns into the Hubud. So for us, the kindergarten level is to have Hubud and be able to mix it up with your vowels. start sparring from there. But that's your basic valve set, or your basic Hubud set at what we would call a kindergarten level. Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed the lesson. As usual, please be safe. When you're working out with a training partner, a family member, make sure you wash your hands, you're practicing good hygiene, take it slow, and look for other activities to do. Stay fit during this difficult time that we're in. I'm sure we'll get through this. Until then, I look forward to training with you soon. Keep it safe, train hard, keep it real, and we'll see you next time back at Cobra Kai in the gym.